What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the 10-minute Touch Warmup on the On the Floor with Liv and Core podcast. I'm Core, that's Liv, and today we have assistant coach BJ Doss from UCLA with us. BJ, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, BJ, it's Nationals week. The Bruins are back at Nationals in Fort Worth. It's going to be an amazing week ahead of us. So I thought for our 10-minute touch warm up, I'm gonna get this stopwatch started because we have some really
Okay,
great questions for you. Are you ready? Is everyone
I'm
ready?
ready. Go off. Let's
Okay,
go.
Let's
here we
go.
go. And go. We're not here for any deductions. BJ, okay, everyone knows you as the dancing queen, but I do know that you were a gymnast yourself and you do coach and you slay and you crush it. And I want to make sure that everyone in the world knows that you are more than just a dancer and more than just a choreographer. So just give us a little bit more about how it's been settling in, coaching this amazing floor squad at UCLA, and also the cohesion behind your guys' coaching staff because there are some new faces at for the UCLA Bruins this year.
Well, first, thanks for saying that. Yeah, definitely left gymnastics, but I was a gymnast growing up. I did it for a couple years in college and then came back to it with kind of fresh eyes and a new perspective on, I think, dealing with the people side of things. So I come from like a little bit of a wider lens going in and have worked really hard the past few years of learning how to teach technique, I think, to different athletes from various backgrounds. So that's been really fun and also just to learn by doing it. And I think I've come a long ways over the past couple of years of just getting really confident, like not just being known as the choreographer dancer, but coaching gymnastics. And with that, it's just been really collaborative. I think we build trust and relationships first. And then with that comes like learning how to coach each individual to their liking and in a way that makes them thrive. So I find that we have a really cohesive relationship within the floor squad of just having buy-in, kind of starting from a different angle, like with the dance and the choreography, but then also just building culture on that event. And they're just really committed to working hard and working together this year. So it's been really fun. And I'm just like constantly blown away by them just as people and athletes. And yeah, it's been a treat to coach them. They're rock stars this year, and I couldn't be more proud. So, and then among the coaching staff, we have some new faces. Everyone brings something different and new and creative to the squad, and now I just feel like the puzzle is complete. So, it's been really cool to have these new faces just come in and just get it right away. Like, Lacey being a student athlete just a few years ago and just having a really creative approach to coaching beam. And then, of course, there's Janelle, who is just such a gymnastics guru in so many ways. And then Mark, too, has brought a lot of really cool conditioning, strength, mobility exercises to the team coming from the men's side. And then also just like a championship winning mentality that I think he gained from working at Stanford, having 5 natties under their belt in a row. So it's just been really fun, and we all trust each other. We work really well together, and then just outside of work, I think we have a lot of fun and we have good camaraderie. So yeah, it's been a really special year overall, and I'm super grateful for that. It's been a journey, so I feel really lucky to have this team going into nationals.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You have choreographed a lot of routines, like a lot of routines. Is there any routine that sticks out to you? I don't want to call it your favorite because I don't think you can have a favorite with the different styles and ways you go about it. But is there a routine that sticks out to you that maybe the process was a little bit different or it came together a little in a way that isn't usually how things come together? What's just a routine process and then the final that
Yeah.
really sticks out to you and that you've done?
Ooh, okay. I mean, I don't have a favorite. And each athlete, like the approach is always different.
Right.
Um, I mean, the one that comes to mind, I think, was Shay's Black Panther routine because like I went into it being like, I don't know if the music's gonna work. How do we make this college gymnastics? I was listening to the soundtrack. I wasn't sure. And she kept being like, please, please, please. And so we just figured it out and problem solved just from like a music and creative standpoint before we even started doing dance moves. And so once we had the music done and it sounded really cool, it was like okay, this is like from your soul. Like you are Miss Black Panther. So it felt like the routine came together really naturally. And with me and Shay, we've got a lot of different movement, like just in our repertoire. So like there's a lot to choose from. And both of us can get really analytical together because we're like, well, what about the finger going like this instead of like this? And it's just like we get really detailed and myopic and like we don't have to be that way because she makes everything look good, but we just want it to be great. So with this Black Panther process, it felt more like what's authentic to the character, to the films, to the way she moves, and it came together in a different way than I think her other routines. So I thought that was a really cool experience. And then I'm trying to think of another one that stands out. I mean, Brooklyn, you got to mention Brooklyn. Like the way she moves is just so elite in so many ways. And I can give her something and then she'll extend it like that much further. And then I'm like, yes, that. So I think with this year, there's a lot of pressure on some of those great performers at UCLA because the expectation for what they're going to put out with a new routine is very high. So I think with her in the beginning, we were kind of feeling that as we're coming up with the music and all of that. And then once we got in the gym and just started moving, it's like the freedom kicked in. And it's like, you know what? This is your last routine. Let's just send it. What do you feel like doing? What is your body doing right now? And we just like had a little more freedom as we created it. And she has movement that feels good that she's done in past routines that we'll sprinkle in. But like the way that it came together and I think the flow of it was what made it stand out this year. So
That's
yeah.
special. I did tweet this past week because I was like, laying down thinking about the Queen Brooklyn Moores, as one does. And I was also remembering back to the figure skating world championship after they finished all their performances, they did this like gala presentation where they just came out and like did a showcase of sort.
Oh,
And
like Stars on Ice or something.
yeah, yeah. But it was the day after the World Championship. So I'm like, how does this work?
Uh,
Um, so I was like, wait, I have to tweet this. And what I tweeted was, we need to have a gala presentation, which is just Brooklyn Moores doing all four of her routines back to back to back, so
Oh
that
my
the
God.
final pose turns into the first pose, so that all of them can just go one after another, because that will be a gift to me and I
Okay.
think to everyone in the world.
Okay. So if the NCAA doesn't approve this request, maybe we'll just like do it in the gym and film it for the world to see.
Okay, Anna Burns, you need to
Yeah.
film this and turn it into a mini docu-series of
Yeah.
sort. And it just needs to be one take because, wow. She doesn't even need a tumble. Honestly,
No, she
she could
won't.
run to the corner.
No. Yeah.
I was gonna say a quick little jog to the corner never
Like,
hurt
dog.
anybody.
Yeah.
Right.
She
But it's
has to do the layout step out though. That's like,
correct.
Well,
The
yeah,
Matrix move, yes,
yeah.
the
please.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Yes, please. But okay, that wasn't a question, that was just a statement. Okay, BJ, you have mentioned that, there have been some ups and downs in your journey as an assistant coach at UCLA. But there is a joy and there is a feeling that I can see very clearly about this team, and about this staff and about the culture that you guys have right now. So going into the national championship this coming weekend, like, what energy, what vibe, what is the feeling? What are those notes you're giving to the student athletes as you guys hop on a plane on Tuesday and head to Fort Worth?
Um, I have no notes because we have spent since September report day building. So everything that they've committed to from our retreat to preseason to early challenging moments in season has like prepared them to have like the language and the intention behind what the culture is. So it's almost like we don't have to remind them because they're already reminding each other constantly. So I think the biggest piece of it is that they're connected. They're connected. They want it. It's team first. It's like brew and bubble, as we always say. And then from there, they're just committed to excellence and like striving to get the landings and hold each other accountable to like the work that's needed to be at that high level and hopefully make four on the floor. So, yeah, it's been
That's
great.
awesome. That's
It's been
awesome.
really just a joy to see also the leadership step up this year.
Yeah.
And we've got a big senior class. We've got super seniors. And they have really made a choice, like, to understand the legacy, to reach out to alums, to figure out what the ingredients are that make UCLA a championship winning team. And I think they've done a really good job, and they've stayed committed to leading this team to, the best result possible. So yeah, I'm super proud.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, Liv, take us home. We got one more question.
Yes. So as the sport continues to grow, and of course now Corey has a new growth idea to have a gala at the end of nationals.
Yeah.
So great growth idea.
On
Yeah,
board.
I mean, it seems like a breeze. It's easy. But since there's so much growth on the horizon for the sport, something that we're asking all of the coaches that we're talking to is what is something that you would tell someone who wants to become a fan of NCAA gymnastics to get them to become a fan? Like something that you would tell them to understand more about the sport, something you'd tell them just to get them there and become a fan.
I would say the artistry, the showmanship, and the athleticism is unmatched, and you'll never watch another sport that combines those things in the way that gymnastics does. There's nothing. It doesn't exist. It's literally gymnastics. If you want to see the top level of all of those things, come watch a gymnastics meet. And then on top of it, the energy that we have built over the years with college gymnastics specifically still feels like you're at a basketball game or a football game or something, of that magnitude, where you're still getting the energy and the yelling and the cheering that you would watching another sport. So it's unmatched.
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 Yeah. And we're crushing this. Wow. 10 minutes
Whoa,
warm
3,
up.
2, 1.
This-
Touch is over. We're competing. Let's go.
let's go. Let's go.
A
And
10-minute touch would be so long.
So long, like
So true.
unnecessarily long.
Yeah.
Right.
Like maybe on bars, and they can like take their time with the cables and,
True,
I
that
mean,
becomes like a song and dance to like rip the cables down and push them up. Like it'd be nice to have more time.
Yeah.
on behalf of team managers everywhere, I have to tell you, it it it's a work of art. And
Yeah. It's
some
choreography,
I'm
essentially.
yeah, it is choreography, but I would like to be compared at some point in time to the Formula One pit crews that change the tires,
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
because that's quite frankly what's happening.
Yeah. And
Every
you watched that show. That's probably why you were so into that show back a couple years ago.
Yes, I was like, I feel you, I see you, I know what's happening. Like every time they're like, okay, pit, 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 I'm like, here we go.
Yeah. Cable, really smooth, board.
Yeah, it's amazing. Okay, wait, but I have to go back just for a moment, and this is for selfish reasons. Um, what you just said about artistry, showmanship, athleticism is couldn't be more true. And is a huge part of why Olivia and I are so passionate about the growth of this sport, because there's a fascination that general population, some gen pop, if you will, can have about gymnastics. And for years and years, we've always heard like, we don't just want gymnastics to be popular every 4 years. Well, I keep telling people there are over 60 places around the country that have a college gymnastics meet that have probably 4 or 5 home meets that you can go and sit and watch for an hour and a half, five
Yes.
times in your local area. And you can do this and you can watch it, and it is fascinating, and it is athletics, it is artistry, it is showmanship, it is the most fun you'll have. And the point I want to make here specifically is Los Angeles has many professional sports teams,
Mhm.
many.
Yeah.
Yet the ticket to go to UCLA gymnastics is still incredibly popular, and
Mhm.
people want to come and attend. And there's something incredibly important about what is happening in Poly Pavilion 5 times a year, because you all of the things that every program in the country is bringing to the table in
Mhm.
terms of athleticism and showmanship and performance, um, you guys capture that in a way that also makes it an incredible experience that makes someone have to decide if they're going to go watch the Laker game or they're going to come watch UCLA gymnastics.
Mm.
That's so important. And I think it's a lesson that people should deep dive in, of how to navigate when attention is being pulled from many different directions. If it can be done in Los Angeles, it should be able to be done in many other places as well. So kudos to you all for continuing all that has happened in the past of UCLA gymnastics, and capturing the attention of a Hollywood crowd, uh, many professional sports teams locally, a lot of things that can, I mean, it could just be an Era One grocery trip that could take your attention away.
Yeah.
Olivia did enjoy that. But that attention is really important to me, and obviously that's my like cup of tea and what I enjoy. But there's a lesson to be learned in the deep dive of how UCLA gymnastics is capturing more attention than the Dodgers, who just won the World Series, which is so exciting. And
Great.
kudos to you all for continuing that.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah,
I think that's a really interesting point. A really interesting point you made is that like it's yeah, LA is pulling you in 500 directions, but I think another thing that's important to note is I think gymnastics is marketable to people who don't always love sports. And I know a lot of people that are musicians and dancers and artists, and they live in LA, actors, and they're not really into sports. But I actually think gymnastics can be sort of a gateway because it has the showmanship and the artistry that a lot of people, like even in the entertainment world out in LA, enjoy. And then it pulls them into sports in a way that makes it exciting, but they're not just blindly going to watch football where they don't understand the plays because they can still appreciate the art and performance of it. So I
I
think
agree.
that's kind of an angle that could be used just throughout the country with teams trying to get visibility is like you don't just need to market to sports fans, but people who go to the theater or people who don't understand sports but just want something to watch, and it can kind of draw them in that way. So
I love that.
yeah.
I
Love
love
it.
that. Well, BJ, thanks so much for coming on. This was awesome.
It was
We're
fun.
su- we're excited to watch the Bruins take the floor on Thursday in the semifinals. Go out there, have a blast, and enjoy the journey. And we'll be there along the way. And
Good. Doing
it'll
sideline choreography, I hope.
Oh, I will do my best. That's for
Okay.
sure. I will do my best. Well, that was another episode of 10-minute Touch Warmup on the On the Floor with Liv and Core podcast. BJ, thanks so much for being here today. It means a lot to us that you'd take time ahead of nationals, and we cannot wait to see you guys take the floor in Fort Worth.
Yay. Thanks so much for having me. This was fun. Love chatting with you
Yay.
guys, and I'll see you there.
Heck yeah, heck
Woo!
yeah. All right, stay tuned for another episode. We got some other ones coming. See you guys soon.